Today we're working on chapter 4, lesson 4 in Go Math. We are solving multi-step problems with fractions and mixed numbers. So our first problem is 1, and there are 2 parts to it. They did part A for us, but we need to look it over. It says, solve, show your work. The first one is done for you. Number 1, after a party, there's 1/3 apple pie left and 5/6 pumpkin pie left. How much more pumpkin pie than apple pie is left? So what they did is they took the 5/6 and the 1/3, and they needed to find the LCM of 3 and 6. And the LCM is 6. So they did 1/3 times the whole number of 2 to get 2/6. So they did 5/6 minus 2/6 equals 3/6, or 1/2 of a pie was more. So we are looking at part B, and that is what we are going to solve today. It says Terry ate 1/3 of the leftover pies. How much pie did she eat? So first we need to draw out our actual problem. We have an apple pie and a pumpkin pie. In part A of the problem, we know that 2/3 was 8 and 1/6 was 8 of the pumpkin pie. So 2/3 of the apple, 1/6 of the pumpkin pie. So first we need to figure out how much pie we have left total. So we have to add 2 fractions. So our fractions are 1/3 plus 5/6, and that equals, well, we have to find the least common multiple of our 2 denominators. The LCM of 3 and 6 is 6. We learned that in part A of the problem. So we have to multiply our fractions to get denominators equal to 6. So we have 1/3 times 2/2, because the denominator is 3 and we need it to be 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. Whatever we do to the bottom, we must do to the top, which is where we get 1 times 2 equals 2, over 3 times 2 equals 6. So we have 2/6 is our new fraction, equivalent to 1/3. Now we already had 5/6, so we don't need to change that fraction. We just need to add it. 2/6 plus 5/6. Remember, when we add fractions, our denominator stays the same. So since both of our denominators is 6, it stays a 6. We add the numerators, which is 2 plus 5, and that's where we got our 7 from. And then our denominator stays 6. So we know that 7/6 is an improper fraction. We know 7/6 is an improper fraction, so we have to pull out the numbers that, like, the whole number out of this. So 6 is the denominator, so 6 parts would equal a whole. So we have 7 parts, so we have 1 full whole, because 6/6 is 1 whole. So we have pulled out 6 out of our 7, so what's left is 1, and we keep our denominator the same. So we have 1 and 1/6. However, our problem isn't done, because all we did was figure out how much pie was left. So now we have to figure out, how much pie did Terry eat? So take our 1 and our 1/6 and we minus 1/3. That's going to equal 1 and 1/6 minus, we have to change our 1/3 to a fraction that has a denominator of 6, which we did above, and that was 2/6. So we have 1 and 1/3 minus 2/6, and that equals 7/6 minus 2/6. So we just pulled our improper fraction down and our fraction, our 1/3. So we have 7/6 minus 2/6. When you are subtracting fractions, your denominator stays the same. So we're going to just subtract the numerator. 7 minus 2 is 5, and our denominator is 6. So the answer to part B is 5/6. Lesson 4:4, you have to read and figure out what you're doing, adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing. And there are some problems where you're going to have to do more than one.